We all know that when cancer strikes, the battle can be fierce, but that doesn't even consider the cost of the treatments. Welcome Nick Thiel with the CARE Foundation, a group that focuses on helping kids fight the financial battle of cancer to the table. Welcome.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
What an important job you have.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's amazing. I love it.
You're right here from Spanish Fork, right?
Yep. I live up in Covered Bridge, just up the canyon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, but yep, been here for 9 years. I'm from Texas originally. So.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did it begin?
Honestly, it began 2 years ago as kind of a completely different thing. I started the nonprofit actually for my kids, not because they have cancer, but because I wanted my kids to have a way to get involved and for me to kind of have opportunities to give them.
Love that.
And I just thought, if kids are going to be serving kids, then or if kids are going to be serving, then they should be serving kids. It just kind of clicked for them. So we picked to help kids fight cancer. And once we got going and kind of seeing the projects they got involved in, we were like, all kids need an opportunity to do this. So we turned it into a 501c3. It's quite the process to do that. And yeah, that's what we've been doing ever since.
Wow.
We do things a little differently than a traditional nonprofit now.
Okay.
What we've done in the past, with a traditional nonprofit, it's a lot of networks, who you know, grant writing, and doing things were that were just outside of my reach with the situation that I was in. And just this last January, I decided, you know what, we've got to take a different approach to this. So what we started to do was to unify our mission so that we focus solely on business owners. So what we do is we try to get the community and business owners united in the cause to help kids fight cancer. So any business that wants to join us, we invite them to fundraise for us, and then we do everything in our power to reach out to the community members and say, hey, these are the businesses that are really getting involved to help local families battling childhood cancer. And by supporting them, you're ultimately making an impact. And we're not going to ask you for donations. We're not going to ask you to even commit your time. We're going to ask you to support the people who are already doing so. The backstory to that is over the 2 years that I've been doing this, I do it full time. I've never received a penny from the nonprofit, so financially it's been kind of a challenge. And you guys have probably experienced that, where even if you go to Costco and check out, it's like, hey, do you want to donate to the Children's Miracle Network? Or hundreds and hundreds of other amazing causes that we would love to donate to.
Right.
Sometimes it's just not realistic for people to donate to. So it was kind of hard for me in that financial situation to have to say no all the time. So I decided nobody should feel this way. We're going to make a nonprofit where people don't need to donate. If they want to support businesses that are donating, then that's great, and we can make a bigger impact that way.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. So how do your kids, I'm curious to know, you've got your kids involved, so how do they react being able to, how does it change them?
Well, it's emotional all around. I mean, it's something that really hits home. So for example, my daughter has a sewing nonprofit program where she sews doll dresses and then provides them, to little girls that are battling cancer. She also has an initiative where she would get together with some friends, and she plays the piano. So their friends came together and put together a Christmas concert when it became a benefit concert to raise money for kids with cancer. One of the girls that was kind of like our, hate to say this, but our poster child. Like, we would publish articles about her, and she had osteosarcoma, so she lost her leg, and she was such a fighter, 11 years old. But she was the most positive little girl we ever seen. Well, she was one of the girls that we literally put this concert on for, and she was supposed to be there and couldn't make it because she got sick. My daughter, sewed her a Christmas stocking and wanted to give it to her, but all that fell through. So we still had the chance to raise the money, but 6 weeks later we get the news that this little girl passed away. And it's just kind of what we do, and it's just hard. But it's great when kids can see that they're actually making a difference. Yeah. Because sometimes kids are asked kind of the stereotypical things of, go host a lemonade stand. Not that those things are bad. Yeah. But children have the potential to give themselves. My two youngest, my 7 and 11 well, she's 12 now, but they have their baking business, so they bake cookies to take to people just to raise awareness for cancer. My son is 17. Cute. He does service with me in our business just to get the word out, and I think it's life-changing for them. I hope it's having the effect that it is, but then other kids get involved.
And they'll
that's-
grow up and they'll probably teach their kids
That's exactly
and
what I
see
was
this
thinking.
wave
I
that
hope
just
so.
here's a single person who starts this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a great parenting and how you instill that very early
Thanks. Yeah.
for them to want to do that outreach.
Yeah. It's important to us. And
So Nick, can you give us like a couple hands-on or just examples of businesses that have chosen to support you?
yeah. So some of the ones that we're kind of closest to, one of our newest sponsors, I don't know if you know Mercedes and Jeremy with the Fellows.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fellows
Okay.
Barbershop. They're some of our biggest supporters. And what they do is they just tell their customers, hey, if you buy anything from us, just use this charity, this promo code for the charity, and we're going to donate 10% of it. That's a typical situation that we have with business owners. But then we have others, like just today I got a phone call from Justin Hutchins, who's a fantastic realtor here in Spanish Fork. He's been one of my biggest supporters since day one of the nonprofit. Wow. And he just closed a deal that came to him because he's a sponsor of our charity. So we send out mailers sometimes. This person got the mailer, and I guess that was the tipping point to hire him. So he was really excited to call me. So not only does Justin donate every month, which, I mean, Justin is just such a generous person, but then, he didn't have to make this additional donation today, but he was so grateful that he got the business from it. So just today he submitted another donation. And then the same thing happened with a pest control company from social media today. They saw something that we did in the community. It was sponsored by Simplex Pest Control. So we thanked them in the post, and from this post, somebody reached out to them. And if anything happens from that, that'll be an additional donation that Matt Malstead, who owns Simplex Pest Control. So our job is to show the community how amazing these businesses are. They give without expecting anything in return. But when they do get something in return, they donate even more. And that's just a good business decision, and that's how it should be. But what's exciting is to see how the community wants to support these business owners. So we're doing everything we possibly can to just let the community know who these business owners are and what they're doing for these kids.
That makes so much sense. Like, I think that's why a lot of businesses join a local chamber of commerce, because the community, like, if you're supporting the Chamber of Commerce, I want to support you.
Yeah.
So very similar.
Exactly. Business owners gave me this idea. I literally, I changed paths because I remember it was on my birthday, March 29th of last year. Jersey Mike's had their day of, I don't know what they call the day, but it was basically every sale made that day went to make a wish.
Okay.
And it literally determined where I was having lunch that day. It sounds super simple, but it changed my mindset of, I changed a purchasing decision based on some good that was going to come.
Right.
And I was like, there's no reason we can't multiply this by 1,000. So now whether you get a free home and auto quote from Shane Palley's team at Farmers Insurance, he's going to make a donation to charity. If you get a free braces quote from Trapner Orthodontics in Springville, they're going to make a donation to our charity. So all these businesses are seeing not just the potential to do good, but it does good for their businesses as well. So it creates a win-win. So everybody wants it to succeed.
And every business isn't having to do, you have to donate 10% of this to our company. You're more, do what makes sense.
Exactly.
To you, what works for you.
They're donating regardless of whether they get something in return.
Gotcha.
But we've added that, by the way, it's a really good business decision that if the customer mentions our fundraiser, would you be willing to make an additional donation? Because I promise you, I've done it, and we've had countless examples that people will make simple decisions. Now, if you have a very intimate relationship with your dentist or something like that, I'm not saying you're going to change those major purchasing decisions, but on day-to-day decisions, absolutely. If somebody has a problem with pest control and they're just going to Google a company, would they choose a certain one over another just because this opportunity is literally going to help kids fight cancer? We've seen it time and time again. So
that says a lot about the business too.
It does.
I mean, like you said, so if I know that a business is charitable, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's who I do want to support them, and especially for cancer, because I think every one of us knows somebody who's had cancer, but especially the kids. So do you ever get to see any of the kids or specific people that the money goes to?
I see from a distance. when we get 100% of the funds we raise go to help kids, but it goes in different ways. We either give directly to the families, and we know of some of them that we absolutely understand that they financially need our help, and we could write a check directly to them. But there are actually a lot of really good foundations already here in Utah that are more hands-on with the parents because their own kids have had cancer, and in both of the cases of the ones we support, their kids have passed away from it. I don't think I could emotionally handle it. I had a hard time watching two little girls pass away 3 days apart from each other, and I've never met them in person. I'm not strong enough to do that. But other people are in the front lines, and we're here to support them. And we know, we check their financials, we know what's happening with the money. There's just no question that that's the right way for us to do it.
Okay.
Well, if we want to help, we've seen a couple of things posted recently about some junk removal.
Okay.
Can you tell us about that?
So like I was saying, I haven't been paid by the nonprofit, but I do have to provide for my family. My wife is a stay-at-home mom, and she homeschools our 4 kids, and that's just the situation that we're in. So my 17-year-old son, he was 16 at the time, we started a junk removal company.
Awesome. Okay.
And what we do is we donate up to 100% of the proceeds for any junk removal that's done if the nonprofit has any operating costs, to try to keep all of the money, all of the donations from the public to go to the kids.
Okay.
Apart from that, anything profit that's made, we're just like any other business. We donate 10 to 20% minimum from every job that we do. I invested the money, we wrapped our trailers so that it's basically a driving billboard. So it promotes utcares.org, which is basically our fundraising site. So we're just constantly, that's one of the many things we're doing to constantly show the community, like, these are the businesses you want to be supporting. So if I have to go out and haul someone's trash away to raise awareness, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, well, we super appreciate it.
Yeah,
okay.
thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So it
thank you
is
for
the
having
CARE
me.
Foundation online.
Yeah,
Okay.
the CARE Foundation. And our fundraising site is utcares.org. That's just where we consolidate all of the businesses. And
Okay.
make it
Thanks for
possible.
what you're doing.
You're doing great things.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
so much.
I appreciate your time.